Hey, what's up? This is Laidback Luke, DJ and producer, and these are my 5 essential tracks.
Laidback Luke, welcome to 5 Essential Tracks.
Hi, thank you for having me. Good to be here.
This is something I ask almost all of my guests, but was it really hard? Do you hate me right now?
Oh yeah, I absolutely hate you right now because, like you said, there's tons of music and I hate leaving stuff out, and there is some essentials I left out, which I won't mention right now because I'm not allowed to.
No. Let me set the record straight here. You're allowed to mention everything. You know, let's just stick to the 5 as a sort of like guideline. Name dropping is very much allowed.
Awesome, that sounds good because we kind of left out my whole like hip hop influence out of here, and I have mad love for anything Dilla, NERD, and Timbaland as well. But it's okay, it's good.
But we squeezed them in already,
yeah,
even before we started. So this is the right way to do it.
Well, the first one is the Prodigy, Everybody's in the Place.
Wow, old school Prodigy.
Very much so. I remember being 12 years old, and I was organizing, this was the basic school we call in Dutch.
Yeah.
I was organizing the party section over there, and I had 2 tape decks, and I had the same song on every deck, and I had a little mixer as well, and I was just playing that on repeat the whole night, and I was so obsessed by the song.
Were the people impressed as well?
Well, as far as there were like 2 people like just, just walking through, but it was my party and I had the time of my life. But I remember playing the song in my living room a lot as well, so I decided to bring it to the school dance as well. And I was just obsessed by the catchiness of the track, but also the dance floor energy, because every time I put it on, I instantly started dancing.
What was this? Your first ever DJ gig or one of the first?
Well, yeah, I guess you could say. See, I never thought of myself as being a DJ back then. It was just a one-time off, because after that it would take 7 years before I did it again.
So let's just name it what it was. Your first DJ gig, and it was basically just everybody in the place back to back.
On repeat, absolutely.
It sounds like one hell of a party.
For me, it was the best party in the world. Track number 2, so we're staying in the same type of realms, which is basically the UK Rave, the old school UK Rave. And this was my first time ever buying vinyl in a record store. And I remember just searching, and I was there with a friend who took me to this fancy place where DJs would buy records, and I was there as a 15-year-old kid thinking, oh, okay, so now this is getting real now or something. And I couldn't make a choice. It took me about a half an hour, and I remember just this track blasting through the speakers, and the breakdown came, and I remember, and I was just hit by it. I was instantly struck by it. It was so captivating for me, and I said to the guy, behind the counter, I want this track.
And what was the song?
Jonny L, Hurt You So. And so I only had money for one, and that was the one. It was my first ever DJ vinyl I bought.
Wow. This was like 91, 92?
Yeah, this
like
must
that?
have been in 92, yeah. So this was my start of many vinyls to come.
What can you remember? I mean, this is a long 25 years ago now. Do you still remember what gave you the inspiration or make you decide I want to be a DJ? I want to buy vinyl. I want to go out there. I want to take parties to the next level.
Well, that's going to be the next track. this was the ultimate inspiration for me to pursue this musical career. So it was Technotronic, Pump Up the Jam, probably the most important track of my life ever.
Pump up the jam, pump it up while your feet are stumping. And the jam is pumping, look ahead, the crowd is jumping. Oh, what a place to stay. Get your booty on the floor tonight. Make my day, make my day.
In 92 as well, a friend of mine showed me on his Amiga computer. He had the track, he had laid it out on the computer.
Yeah.
It was a Amiga tracker, and it had like the 4 channels, and so he muted the beats. I was like, where did the beats go? And he's like, I muted them. And you want to hear what? I can solo out the synths.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
And this is the bass line.
yeah, wait,
this
so
is the vocals.
wait, so you can make music with a computer? And I came from a musical family, and I was always the one in the family that couldn't play the instruments as well as the others. So I was always made fun of. But in the meantime, I always had this music stuck in my head.
Yeah.
So when I found out I could actually draw music with a computer, I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do the rest of my life.
Wow. So Technotronic, that was, if it would have been any other song that your friend would have on the Amiga computer, that would have been the watershed moment.
Most likely. But I must say, Technotronic's track was the perfect crossover for me for hip hop, which we discussed before, and then the dance music energy. And I still try and tend to have that in my tracks nowadays. So at a certain point, hip hop got like really like weed tempo, and like, you know, it wasn't as jump up anymore. It was just like laying back. And for me, it was, I lost the interest through that. And dance music kept the dance floor power.
Yeah.
And so that's why it always fascinated me.
But the real swing beat, break beat style of hip hop, early 90s, still gets you going.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
Just throw in some names from that time before we
but
move on to track 4.
Obviously we have the really commercial stuff like Cypress Hill and House of Pain, of course, and Crisscross. But then, you know, Tribe Called Quest and Busta Rhymes as well, later on, and all that sort of thing. Track number 4. Well, we're sticking into this 15-year-old realm, and I have a theory about that. But Robin S., Show Me Love.
So baby, if you want me, you get to show me love. Words are so easy to say. You got to show me love.
Luckily, I've had an international hit with Steve Angelo with a remake of Robin S., Show Me Love. So my name is stuck to it as well now, but I adore the original. Like, those organs, they've always captivated me. And
first time you hear that, I can still remember hearing that sound for the first time. Whoa, so warm, yet daunting, yet everything.
And so when I started making music, my dad had a colleague at work who owned a synthesizer. This synthesizer was the Korg M1, and I could borrow it for summer holiday. So I spent a whole summer holiday in my bedroom making music with this synthesizer. And it's the synthesizer that has the Robin S. organ. So my first 20 demos sounded all like Robin S. Show Me Love, using that organ over and over again.
Can you pin down what makes a song so timeless and so iconic?
Yes, I can, but I cannot as well, because obviously that's what you want as a musician. Every track you make, you want it to be that iconic, that timeless. So it's super tough to pin down. But what I think is the essence is like an unawareness, like an accident almost that happened. And it didn't take any effort, but it was just there before you knew it. So I know the guy that produced the track very well, Stonebridge. He's like the chocolate puma of Sweden.
Yeah.
And we spoke about it as well. And I think he once told me that the record label, because this is a remix officially, the record label didn't want that organ at first, or they wanted the beats different.
The original is very slow, right? Yeah, very slow song. I remember.
And him too. He got captivated by this organ in the synthesizer, and he used it. And the record label thought it was a very strange and weird sound he used at first. But he pushed through, and the rest is history. So accidents. A lot of times, the biggest hits are seamless, easy accidents. My taste of music is very broad, but we kept it in like the dance music spectrum right here. Obviously, me being a DJ, and it's funny to see that the guys that I'm gonna call out next are more on the poppy side nowadays, making history like that. But when I first heard Daft Punk's Musique, I was like, this is just alien programming. There wasn't anything like that before. The kick drum they used, the filtering in the track, the energy, chopping up the sample like that. And this was the dawn of a whole new, like a whole new time to come. So I could have easily said, it would have been another track of them, like Burning, but this was more of like an underground track, and I just remember playing it in my sets as well, and the energy just builds toward like a frantic type of energy, and like I said before, I've always been captivated by dance floor energy. What is it that makes people dance hard? Or what I do in my shows as well, what is it that makes people want to get a drink on the dance floor? And so stay away from that. So have it the other way around. And so I feel this track sums up for me what dance floor energy is, and where you can go from building it up to a peak like that to like building it down again, and just being creative in the drum programming, but choosing different sounds as drums as well.
Thank you so much for performing the very crappy task of narrowing yourself down to 5 tracks, but I'm very happy that you managed to throw in some bonus tracks as well. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Same here. Thank you very much. So I hope you enjoyed my 5 essential tracks. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. I'm very curious to see your favorite tracks as well. Check out my YouTube channel. It's Laidback Luke. Subscribe there as well.